Hola, mis amores. It's Yanori Pouncil. I am the guiding light and spiritual guide to intuitive leaders that are being the most authentic version of themselves. These are leaders that are trusting their intuition, putting themselves first, overflowing with inner peace, and enjoying the present moment as much as their destinations. And today I am your mentor and your guide. Today, we're going to be talking about designing your ultimate life. So, if you are here for that, you are in the right place, Miss Amores, because I'm going to be going deep dive into everything that goes into designing your ultimate life. And I'm going to share with you how I've designed my own life so that you can see what's possible in your reality. Before we jump into this, I want us to do our vibe check. This is an opportunity for us to quiet ourselves and to check in with ourselves to make sure that we are seeing how we are feeling, because this is really important on our path to inner peace. To do that, take a deep breath in, feel it in your heart, feel it expanding. And when you are ready, exhale slowly. And if you're feeling generous, share in the comments below what's coming up for you or what came up for you during that breath. I learned this from Eckhart Tolle. When we take one breath, we can't really ground into ourselves. One breath is all that's needed. So, today's episode, Designing Your Ultimate Life. This is actually episode number 22 of my ongoing series here on my YouTube channel called The Path to Inner Peace. And this is episode number 22, which means we have 2 more episodes left, y'all. This is our last week in this ongoing 45-day series I've been doing here. And I'm excited that we're coming to a close, especially because we're entering the end of the year. And this is going to be a powerful time to take everything you've learned in this series with you and put it into practice in the new year. I'm giving you a rope moment today because she's sitting in her feminine, in her divine feminine. And I want to sprinkle a little bit of that in everyone that's watching this video. So who is going to get the most out of this video? First of all, this video, this week, every video I release this week, which is going to be one today, one tomorrow, and one on Thursday, is going to be focused on designing your ultimate life. It's going to be focused on co-creating your best life, because when you are moving in the energy of your best life, your life transform, you transform, and the people around you transform as well. And it happens in a way that's so beautiful and so divinely aligned that you are in awe of what's occurring in your reality. The people that are going to get the most out of this video are those of you that are on that path, those of you that are committed to mastering the art of inner peace, those of you that are desiring to show up unapologetically, to show up boldly, to show up powerfully, and to do it overflowing with the energy of inner peace, inner calm, and self-love, self-appreciation, knowing that we are created from something divine and powerful. And when we share our magic with others, we are able to amplify that magic in the world. And we are healers. We love to support others. We love to see others shine. And we love to do it by bringing God's gifts to creation. So I am excited for those of you that are here, because you're going to get the most out of this video. Those of you that desire to move like that and be in the present moment, this is for you, baby. So I hope you're ready. Grab your journal, grab your water bottle, and let's get into the gems of the day. So the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I remember what it was like before I started to consciously design my ultimate life. I remember what it was like before I stepped into my role as a co-creator. And when I was in that space, I was truly feeling a lot of frustration. I was feeling a lot of frustration with my external reality. I was feeling a lot of frustration with the way I was showing up to that reality. And I was feeling a lot of frustration with the way people were showing up to me in my reality. And this was coupled with a few energies that was also really present for me. And I've talked about some of these energies before here during this series, so you are familiar with what I'm going to be sharing, especially if this is not your first time here. I've talked about sitting in the energy of victimhood. I talked about sitting in the energy of overthinking. I talked about sitting in the energy of perfectionism. And I've talked about sitting in the energy of the fear of making a mistake. Let me pause, y'all, because it's lit outside. All right. I feel like the noise has calmed down. So when I was sitting in that energy, in those energies I just share with you, the energy of victimhood, the energy of people pleasing, overthinking, perfectionism, and fear of making a mistake, a lot of what was happening inside of me and what was happening also in my reality was that I was feeling very much stuck and out of control in my life. And if you're here, you may be familiar with that feeling. Let me know if you're familiar with that feeling. Let me know in the comments below if you are familiar with the energy of not feeling in control of your life. I feel like we are back on the clear now. So I was sitting in that energy, and when you're in that energy of not feeling in control of your life, when you are in the energy of feeling like you're given 200% and nothing is at 100%, it can be really uncomfortable and very emotionally unsettling because we are pouring and pouring and pouring, and we're not giving that energy back to ourselves. And this is what I also see with my clients when they work with me, when they choose to come work with me, when they are at the point where they're like, I gotta bring in some support, they are in a place where they're not feeling in control of their lives as well. They are in a place where they are surrender into that energy of victimhood. They are in a place where they are not even aware that that's going on. So they are treating the root of the issue or the root of the situation like the symptom of it. They're treating the symptoms of the situation like the root of the situation. And that does not help them come back into a space of being in charge. That doesn't help them come back into a place where, y'all, they are mowing the lawn outside and I'm stretched with listening to myself because of that. Let's see if they pause so I can share. Let me pause until they're done, actually. Okay, I feel like we are in the clear now, officially. And as you can tell, this is real. I'm not going to edit this out because I want you to see that you can put things in the world that are going to serve others the way that they are without getting attached to it being perfect. And when we are in that energy of stuckness, I know that if you are here and you're familiar with this energy, you know that it feels like it's very stagnant. The energy is quite dense and it's very difficult to move through it. And I see that my clients, when they come to me, they are in this space. They are experiencing it in some shape or form. And it often shows up as being stuck in how they're showing up in their lives, showing when they're desiring to show up powerfully and they're not showing up powerfully because of everything else they have going on. And I also know what's on the other side of that. Once we get crystal clear on what we desire and we start to design our ultimate life, we are able to transform ourselves. We are able to go from a space where we may have been depressed, we may have been unhappy, a job where we may felt that we weren't appreciated, our relationship where we felt that we were not treated well. And we are able to leave those spaces and take ourselves into a place where we're feeling joyful, where we're feeling peaceful, where we're feeling excited about our lives. When we wake up in the morning with our smile on our face because we're so joyful to be here. We're so grateful to be here. We start our days with gratitude, not because it's something we have to do, because it's something that brings us joy to do. And that's what I know is possible. I was depressed in 2016, 2017. And look at where I am now. I am living the life I desire, living joyfully. You feel the energy because energy is honest. And that is why I know that this is also possible for you. The key here, to be honest with you, is embracing your power as a co-creator. I've had to embrace my power as a co-creator with God, as a co-creator with every single person that's in my space, and a co-creator with the universe. And when you do that, everything transforms, baby. So here's what you're going to learn today. I'm going to be sharing with you the number one reason why embracing my power as a co-creator is a non-negotiable for me, and it's also non-negotiable for you if you are on the path to inner peace, if you are desiring to show up more authentically, and if you are committed to living your life joyfully and peacefully. I'm going to share with you what embracing my power as a co-creator looks like for me, because as I am on this path to inner peace, it looks different than when I wasn't engaging in this way. It looks different than when I was in that energy of victimhood that I talked to you about earlier. Then I'm going to share with you 3 ways in which embracing my power as a co-creator has made my life 1,000 times better. That helps you see what's possible for yourself so that you can begin to co-create your own dream life and see and bring forth the things that you are desiring. And for staying with me to the end, I'm going to give you a bonus and I'm going to walk you through the best way to unleash your power as a co-creator full of inner peace, and full of inner joy. Now, if you're an intuitive leader and you know that I am the mentor for you, you know that you want to be in my energetic presence and you desire to have me as a partner in your journey to inner peace, I want to make you an invitation because right now I am enrolling clients for 2024 and I would love for you to be a part of it. Below this video in the description box, there is a link to apply to an authenticity audit with me. These are 45-minute conversations where you and I take a very, very intentional look at your life. We look at what's occurring, we look at what's impacting your ability to show up powerfully, and then we create a map to help you move through that in 30 to 90 days. And they're called authenticity audits because they are specifically designed to support you in co-creating the most authentic life, the most joyful life for you, not for me, for you. And they're very, very powerful. So if you are desiring to show up as the most authentic version of yourself in the new year, if you are committed to being the best version of yourself, if you are desiring to unleash your authenticity at greater levels, these calls are for you. They are extremely transformational. So make sure that you apply for one of them so that we can co-create some magic in your life. So here's your story for today, because I love to bring you stories, and it's been really therapeutic for me to share these stories with you. So you've seen this journal before. I shared it with you. I believe it was episode 1 where we talked about the importance of a breakdown. So I've designed my life a number of times. I'm actually currently revisiting my life and redesigning my life and adjusting it based on the things that I've learned and the things that have served me over the last years. That wasn't always how I was, though. I wasn't always a person that was designing her life with this level of intention and showing up to herself with this level of attention and autonomy. That wasn't always my story. In 2017, when I began diving into this journaling piece more intentionally, that was the first time I remember quieting myself and asking of myself, like, what do you want? What do you want from life? What do you want to do with yourself? I remember October 2017 journaling in this notebook and asking myself, like, what is it that you are desiring from yourself? What kind of changes are you looking to make in your life? And why are you looking to make those changes? It was the first time, y'all, that I sat with myself and I took a look, an uncomfortable look at who I was. I looked at the things about myself that I didn't like. I looked at the things about myself that I wasn't enjoying. I looked at the things about myself that were not in alignment with the person I desired to be. And I began to be really intentional about what that looked like. I remember when I was journaling and I wrote in this particular notebook, and I've shared a few excerpts from this with y'all before. October 28th, 2017, I wrote down a whole list of things that I wanted to look at, and I called it things I want to work on. How I speak to myself about myself, how I treat others and speak to them, be responsible for my actions, and how I choose to respond to things I cannot control, how I manage my time, how much time I spend doing the things that are most important to me, and how much time I spend with the people I love and not burning myself out. These were the things, y'all, that your girl was reflecting on. These were the things that began this process of rewriting my story and co-creating my ultimate life with God. So I keep on pausing this video because it keeps on getting loud. And I'm feeling like what I'm going to be sharing with y'all today is going to be so transformational to you. And that's why all these things are occurring. Like, mad ambulances are coming down this road right now. The people cutting the lawn or the doing groundskeeping are going off right now. So I know that whatever I'm going to share is going to touch at least one of you in a very powerful way. If it wasn't because of that, all this shit wouldn't be going on around us. So let's all ride the wave and let's get through this video together. When I was writing these things about myself, when I was getting really clear on who I wanted to be, on the type of person I wanted to show up as, it was a very uncomfortable process for me because it required that I saw things about myself that I didn't want to see. And this is the number one reason why embracing my power as a co-creator is a non-negotiable for me on the path to inner peace and as a healer and a leader. Because my power as a co-creator can only emerge and can only thrive when I'm willing to look at my shadow. When willing to see the parts of myself that I don't like, when I'm willing to see the parts of myself that don't bring me joy. And designing this ultimate life for myself so that I am the best version of myself requires that I do that. It requires that I look at who I'm being so I can decide how I'm going to show up based on what I'm learning around how I am actually showing up. It's me looking at how I'm acting versus how I think I'm acting. And when I began to look at myself differently, when I wrote down this journal entry in 2017, that was the very first time I realized that, oh my God, this is a non-negotiable for me. I gotta take control. I gotta be willing to allow this power that God has poured into my spirit to overflow into others. And this is what is a non-negotiable for me, because for a long time, I didn't want to do that. I ran away from that power. I ran away from my co-creation role because I just felt like I wasn't in control. I told you this earlier. I felt like I didn't want that responsibility. I don't want the responsibility of things going in a certain way because I had learned that when things go wrong, and you are responsible, guess what? You get punished for those things. So I had a lot of resistance to taking responsibility for myself because I did not want to, quote unquote, be punished for doing things in a wrong way in my life. And I know that this is also happening in your life in some shape or form. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here, because we are in energetic alignment, right? Like energy attracts energy. So if we are on the same vibes, this is also occurring in your life in some shape or form. And this is why it is a non-negotiable that you too are taking full ownership of your power as a co-creator. Now, I want to share what that looks like though, because when we are on the path to inner peace, or the path of inner peace, because remember, inner peace is not a destination we arrive at. Inner peace is about depth. It's about diving into deeper levels of that peace that surpasses understanding. And when we are on this path, it takes a different shape than when we are not on this path. Embracing my power as a co-creator has meant taking radical responsibility for myself. It is looking at those things about me that I am feeling, y'all, and being like, girl, do we want to keep on doing that? Is that really bringing us joy? Is that lighting our soul on fire? And that is an uncomfortable process. I just talked to you about this because we have been taught to avoid discomfort. We have been taught to avoid the things that we don't like. And when we begin to take responsibility for ourselves at a radical level, we are faced with all those things. And we experience all that discomfort that we have been taught that it's wrong and they got to be avoided. So one of the ways that it has looked like taking the radical responsibility is being willing to see who I am, being willing to see my actions, being willing to see my reactions to those actions, being willing to see the thoughts that I experience when I'm engaging in those actions, and being able to experience the feelings, right? Because the feeling tells me how I'm really dealing with it. If I don't feel no type of way about it, it means I'm chilling. If I'm taking it personally though, it means that there is an emotional wound that has been triggered by a situation, a person, or a circumstance, and now I'm being called to address it. So being on this path means being willing to forgive myself. It has looked like extreme self-forgiveness because there are so many things I'm constantly discovering about myself that are no longer in alignment with who I desire to be. And at the very same time, y'all, we're very much in alignment with who I was being at the time. And when we are taking our power, when we are embracing our power as co-creators, we get to be grateful for the decisions we made in the past, even though now we know it's time to change them. We get to sit in that joy of who we were before because we were making decisions with the information that we had. And now we are presented the opportunity to make different decisions. Being on the path to inner peace, or the path of inner peace as a co-creator, means that you are leading yourself first. You are the first person that you lead. You are your first student. You are your first client. You are the first person you mentor. So being on this path is requiring me and has required me and requires of my clients that we lead ourselves. That we lead ourselves with the way we are thinking, that we lead ourselves with where our inner guidance is coming from, that we listen to our intuition, and that we lead ourselves through our thoughts and through our actions. That we lead ourselves through the process of experiencing our feelings in a way that is empowering for ourselves. This is what I know is possible. This is what this looks like as a thought leader, because oftentimes we, more than anybody else, tends to have a challenge with this because we want to have things yesterday. We are leaders. We're used to not having no for an answer. We're used to getting what we want when we want it. And when we don't get it, we don't like it. And a lot of this process for me has meant to shift how I see that, shift how I show up to that, and shift the things that I allow myself to experience by moving differently. And it has made my life a lot better. Let's talk about how it has made my life a lot better, because I feel like this is going to really open you up to some possibilities. Taking radical responsibility for myself. Let's start with that, because that carries a very it carried a yucky energy at the beginning. Like the responsibility word was extremely triggering for me. And when I began to sit with that word and take responsibility for Yanori in a way that I had never done before, I discovered so much beauty in myself. I discovered so much power in myself. I discovered how much I was surrendering the things I was desiring to people that were not even leading themselves. And that allowed me to show up differently. When you know you are responsible for yourself and you are 100% responsible for yourself, you show up to your life differently. You are willing to see things from a different perspective. You embody the energy of the hangman. You look at things differently. You show up differently. And because of that, your life is different. It's you. You're not holding on to people to come and save you. You are willing to save yourself. And that's what has happened in my life. I am in a place right now where I'm so clear on who I am. I'm so grounded in what I'm here to do. And I feel so aligned with my divine purpose and my divine path. And that only has happened because I've allowed myself to be uncomfortably honest about who the fuck I am. About the moments I shrink when I desire to expand. And I only shrink because I've been taught to shrink so I can learn to expand. And that has made my life so much better because there are things happening around me all the time that I cannot control. Literally, the people cutting the grass outside going off right now. I don't control that. Literally, the ambulance passing by while I'm recording this video. I don't control that. And when I allow myself to focus on what I can control, when I allow myself to be responsible for myself, I can sit in these moments and be calm through it and be peaceful through it without taking it personally. And that makes my life a lot better because I bring that energy into my life. I bring that practice into my marriage with my husband. I bring that practice with my child as a mom. I bring that practice with my clients. I bring that practice with complete strangers in the street. And that just allows me to be someone that's a lot more joyful to be around. And I just feel good. I feel good about who I'm being. I am pressed. I ain't stressed about those things. And I've been taught to be stressed about those things. Another way that my life is much better is that forgiveness I talked to you about. Let me tell you something. It's mad easy to hold shit over your head. It is so easy to be treating yourself harshly, to be your worst critic. That is real talk. Like, I've been my worst critic. My standards for myself, astronomical. So astronomical that there have been many times I hadn't been able to meet my own standards. And since I allow myself to own up to my power as a co-creator, I just changed those fucking standards. Because when I set standards that are so ridiculously high for myself that I don't meet, that devalues my self-esteem, that erodes my self-trust, that decreases my self-confidence. And when I meet myself where I am, I grow my self-trust, I expand my self-confidence, I feel better about myself. And being able to have the courage to make those decisions, which oftentimes feel challenging and hard, has made my life tremendously better. I'm kinder. I'm more joyful. I'm more gentle. And I'm more gentle with myself. So I'm able to bring that energy into other people. And it just changes the game because the reality is, y'all, we ain't giving ourselves this type of love. And when we meet people that are giving themselves this type of love, we are connecting with a part of ourselves that has that. We are connected with a part of ourselves that overflows that. And then we can change for ourselves. So I want to give you a bonus. I actually want to walk you through how you can do this for yourself because I desire for this to be an opportunity for you to apply what I am sharing in a very practical way. Before I jump into that bonus, let me know if you want that bonus. Give me a sunflower in the comments below if you would love to have this bonus. Before I jump into that bonus, while you do that, I want to talk to those of you that are ready because I have a question for you. I have a very, very, very real question for you. Are you committed to living your life joyfully and peacefully? Is that your commitment for the new year? To live your life joyfully and peacefully? Take a moment. Sit with yourself. If the answer to that is yes, it's time. It's time that you leverage my one-on-one support to make living peacefully and joyfully your new normal. It is time that we do this, and this is how we're going to do it. In the description box below, there is a link to apply for an authenticity audit. These authenticity audits are called authenticity audits because they are designed to support you in designing and co-creating a life that's authentic to you. And they are actually valued at $1,500. You will notice that if you go to the description box below, you can purchase one. Right now, this week, this actually might be my last week doing this for the year. I'm offering the opportunity to 5 of you to book one of these authenticity audits. These conversations are 45 minutes long. And I do them because 2 reasons. Number 1, I love to support people in seeing themselves clearly. It just brings me a lot of joy. The moment people get that aha and they're like, oh, I see it. Oh my God, that just brings me so much joy. And I love to create spaces and hold spaces for people to have that experience. The second reason why I like to do these calls is because about 20% of the people that talk to me, they choose to work with me. They're like, yo, Yanori, I want to work with you. I want to be part of your team. I want you to be part of my team. Okay? And for those 20%, we get to work together. We get to go create more magic in a very intimate way. That doesn't mean that they're the only ones to get the transformation. Anybody that joins me for this call is going to get a transformation because that's who I am. That's what I bring to the table. So if you are feeling called to book one of these calls, the time is now, babes. Grab one of these calls so that you can tap into being a more expanded, joyful, peaceful, and calm version of yourself in the new year because you desire that. You desire to tap into that energy. I know you want to tap into that energy. I see you in my comments. I see you in my messages on other platforms and social. I know you want this. And I'm giving you a way to experience it. So if you want to work with me and you want to enjoy the journey as much as you are enjoying the destinations, these authenticity audits are extremely transformational and they are specifically created for you. So make sure that you apply for one of them in the comments below. I have 5 available for this week as of right now. Actually, no, I have 3 available this week as of right now. Make sure that you grab one. And I look forward to seeing you on the other side. I'm excited to talk to you because you're going to get all of this juiciness just for you. So make sure you click on that link and apply for one of these authenticity audits in the description box below. Okay, here's the bonus. So the best way to unleash your power as a co-creator and do it full of inner peace, because you know me, I'm about the inner peace, baby. I'm not here to be no struggle bus. Excuse me. The best way to do this is to choose yourself. Choose yourself with action. Creating our ultimate life is about choosing ourselves. Taking ownership of our power is about choosing ourselves. Choosing who we are, choosing how we show up, choosing who we are being. These are the things that we can control. And to create this ultimate life for yourself and to embody it and live it, it's going to require that you show up with that action. What do I mean by that? I'm talking about using your autonomy. You have autonomy over yourself. You have autonomy over the thoughts that you think, over the feelings that you feel. Believe it or not, you have autonomy over that. You have autonomy over the way you show up. You have autonomy over your decision to listen to your intuition, to that inner voice. And when you exercise that autonomy with uncomfortable honesty, you do it when it doesn't feel good, you do it when it feels annoying, you do it when it feels like an inconvenience. When you do that, when you move like that, it's a lot more easier to do it when it feels good. It's a lot more joyful to experience your life. And you start to exit that energy of perfectionism. You exit that energy of overthinking. You exit that energy of people pleasing. You exit that energy of victimhood because you are focused on the thing you can control, which is you. And that is what feeds your self esteem. That is what expands your confidence. That is what strengthens your self trust. And then the life you desire becomes an inevitability because you show up to that life differently. It's not about what's going to happen out there. It's about how you will show up to it because you know who you are and you know what you bring to the table. And this is why people be hiring you. This is why people bring you into their company so you can shift things around. This is why people bring you into their lives so that you can support them because you have the ability to take action in a way that most people haven't tapped into. And when you see yourself from this perspective and you exercise your autonomy from an empowered space, when you sit in your energy of being a co-creator, you allow that dream life to become part of your reality in a way that is not forcing, is allowing. You sit in your divine feminine and you become a magnet for it. And that's what I want for you because I know that that's what you want for yourself as well. So that's how you do it. You choose yourself with action and you engage in being uncomfortably honest with yourself and leaning into your autonomy to journey through those moments. In the next video, I'm going to be talking to you on how to know yourself because a big part of this beautiful process of inner peace is knowing yourself, is knowing who you are, is knowing the magic that is inside of you. And I want to support you through that. I'm going to walk you through my process for getting to know myself over and over and over again because we're constantly changing, we're constantly growing. So we're learning new things about ourselves. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a way that's peaceful. For those of you that are submitting your applications to work with me, I am so excited to see you on the other side, Miss Amores. I look forward to us chatting. If you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, consider subscribing to the channel. Consider sharing it with somebody that you love, that you appreciate, and that you want to see thrive in life. I would appreciate that very, very much. My name is Yanori Pouncil. I am the guiding light and spiritual teacher to intuitive leaders that are being fucking iconic, living life joyfully, overflowing with inner peace, being authentic, enjoying the journey as much as the destination. And I'm here to make sure that you see things clearly. Thank you for joining me for today's video. I look forward to seeing you next time. Remember that you are a vibe, divine stardust emotion. So go and be magical. I'll see you in the next video, mis amores. Hasta luego.